Hey there, Taylor Elwood here, and welcome. It's been a little while since I've recorded one of these. I've been busy working on a fun project. It's been a week-long process that I just wrapped up, and it got me thinking about the importance of integration in magical work, really the integration in general. I posted a note earlier today on Substack talking about why it was important for me after having an experience in May with a very deep, intensive medicine work, that the next time I went up to visit my beloved, we actually took a break. I actually specifically said, like, I don't want to do medicine work this next time. And her initial response was a little like, well, like, don't you trust me as a facilitator? No, that was it. Not it at all. She's an amazing, skilled facilitator. I knew, though, that I needed to fully integrate the experience of medicine work into my life, into my being. And I wanted to honor the gift that she'd given me by doing just that and fully integrating it. And this got me thinking about magic in general. So as I said, I've done this week long, really just intense process. And I wrapped it up. And now I'm going to be integrating it. The integration is key to truly unlocking your results. And this is what I find a lot of times is somebody will do magic. And I've been this person. So like I'm not saying, like I'm not just pointing the finger here at other people. There's a few fingers pointing back at me, so to speak. But I've been that person and I've seen other people do it where they've done some intense magical work. And then what do? They go right back into it. I've actually seen this even outside of magic. Like you're working on some type of project. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be magical, it could be something else. You do all this work. And then what do? You leap right back in instead of taking a moment to reflect, to pause, to take in and receive the bounty of the work that you've done. And that is one of the mistakes that I see people make a lot with just life in general. Yes, with magical work. Yes, with medicine journeys. Yes, with other types of experiences. So really, we can apply this mistake, if you will, to other filters and it still applies. Why do we do it? Well, what I often find is that people do it because they're feeling like this urge, this push to get things done, right? Or they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I got this thing done, and now I want to get on to the next mystery. Well, it's like you cooked a really good meal, and then what you did is you bolted the food down as fast as you could because you're like, okay, I cooked a good meal, I'm gonna bolt it down as fast as I could. Instead of taking time to savor the feast, taking time to appreciate the experience. Now, I've done this before with magical work, so I know I speak about this from a bit of experience, and I know other people have done it because I've observed it and I've heard about it before. Why do we do it? Why don't we take the time to integrate? What's really going on there? Fundamentally, there can be a number of reasons. I'll share a couple from my personal experience. One of the reasons, and it's not really relevant anymore, but it used to be, was my not good enough wound. Like I'm not good enough. So it was like, oh, I've got to keep proving myself. I got to keep going out there. I got to keep doing things to show how accomplished I am. Who was I showing that to? Honestly, I was honestly showing it to my dad. That was my not good enough. My dad didn't really care one way or another, or was already dead or whatever else. And I could say, yeah, I was showing it to the occult world, to the occult community, the magical community. Well, do you think most people really cared? Not really. So the not good enough wound, that can be one reason. Another reason can be you've really gotten high off of this spiritual experience. I see this happen a lot of times. Like somebody will do this intense magical working. Oh my gosh, it was so intense. It was so amazing. And they get that dopamine hit. And they're like, oh, I got to get right back into it. I got to have this experience again. So what do? They go and they do another intense magical working. But what they haven't done is they haven't let the first one land. And because they haven't let the first one land, what they're actually doing is creating this experience where what they're doing is essentially exploring or being stuck in this space of liminality where they're not actually fully letting everything become embodied. If you've done magical work and you're doing a magical work one after another, after another, after another, but you're never taking time to pause, that magic isn't going to land. And I've seen that with people where their lives get really messy. And the magic actually stagnates in a way because they've kept everything, they've never closed the loop, they've kept it open ended. So when you don't close the loop on your magical work, what happens? You don't get the results that you want. Not really, because you're continually striving instead of actually sitting back and receiving. This might surprise some of you who watch this, but I don't do nearly as much magic as I used to do. I mean, I still do a daily magical working. It's sphere of art meditation. I do that every day. And I will sometimes do some major magical workings. But the thing that I've learned is to stop after the major working is done, slow down and let it integrate into my being. And what I found is that the results are much more dynamic and powerful because I'm receiving those results. I am fully letting them in, letting them land in my identity. And when we don't do that, when we get stuck in this place of, oh, I got to do this thing one after another, after another, after another, what ends up happening is it doesn't fully land. We don't get the results that we want. And we're wondering, well, why isn't my magic working? Your magic isn't working because you're too busy working it and chasing after it instead of letting it work for you. It's like people who get caught up in chasing money, right? There are a lot of people out there who chase money. They chase it all the time. They're always chasing after it, chasing after it, chasing after it, trying to get something. The same thing with magic. I'm chasing after magic, doing magical working after magical working after magical working. I'm doing it, and I'm doing it because of my approval issues. I'm doing it because I got a spiritual high. I'm doing it for some other reason. Whatever the reason is, it's not fully landing. It's actually keeping you from having the efficacious experience that you are seeking. So try this. Go and do a magical working. Simple one, complex one, I don't care. And then give yourself a solid month off to actually let that experience land in your body, in your spirit, in your life. Let it land. And I know for some people, this is going to be a challenge. But I've got to go and do the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. I've got to go do X, Y, and Z. I've got to go, summon the Goetia. I've got to do all these other things. Who says? Like, why? Why do you have to do those things? What's really driving you? I invite you to let your magic in. The most effective magic is the magic that changes who you are. It changes your identity. When we look at results, like if I'm here, if I'm here and I want to get over to here, I do a magical working, right? I'm changing my identity. I'm changing who I am on the inside as well as the world around me. I'm literally changing reality from the inside out. But if I don't let that fully land in my being, if I don't incorporate and integrate that change within me, that result will go away. Or it will only somewhat show up. I've had that experience myself. I think I first realized that in my early 20s was like when I started to really recognize it. By that point in time, I'd been practicing magic for about 5 or 6 years. You might say, well, why did it take so long to figure that one out, Taylor? Well, one, because there is such a prevalent theme in the magical community. Go out there and keep doing magical work, keep doing magical work, keep doing magical work. Yeah. And because I was young, I was experimenting. And like you first start learning something, you get into it full bore, you're going all in, and that's understandable. I get it. I get why people do that. But here I am, 32 years out the gate of practicing magic, and I've learned a thing or two. I've learned a thing or two in my time. I've actually learned a lot. But one of the most important lessons I've learned is that it is really important to integrate what you do. And that integration is key. That integration is occurring on multiple levels. It's landing in your body. Your body is having its own response to the magic that you work. Too often, what I see in spiritual circles is that people tend to get into this false divide of, spirit is better than the body and that the spirit and body are separate from each other. Well, no, they're not. Our bodies are the portal to our spiritual power. Our bodies are integral to the experience of what we do. We are spirits made manifest. That's how we're able to manifest. We manifest through being physically embodied in this world. That's one of the reasons why spirits want to interact with us. They want to connect with that embodiment. So let that land in your body. Let it land in the environment around you. You are part of a co-regulated system. Co-regulation isn't really talked about in occult circles. It is talked a bit about in men's circles, which is where I've been doing a lot of work lately the last couple of years. And it's really fascinating to me because co-regulation is really this fundamental recognition that we essentially balance each other out. We connect with each other and we provide a level of needed connection and embodiment. But co-regulation doesn't just happen with other human beings, it happens with the environment itself. One of the areas where we as a species have gone off the track is that we have forgotten this fundamental lesson of co-regulation. We've forgotten to connect with the world around us, and we see the result. If you notice, here in the Pacific Northwest, hotter summers than there should be. Wildfire season now. Wildfire season wasn't a thing 10 years ago. Now it is. We all know it. We all expect it. Oh, wildfires, the crazy storms, everything else. We're living in an ecosystem that is out of balance, and we play a pivotal role in that. And part of that is that we've lost our way around co-regulation. We've lost that fundamental understanding that we need to co-regulate with the environment around us, with each other as human beings. And that's one of the roles that magic can play, is that magic is an act of co-regulation. Yes, it's an act of manifestation, but it is also an act of co-regulation. When I do ritual to transform something, to achieve a result or connect with spirits or whatever else, I'm ultimately engaged in an act of co-regulation. And that co-regulation plays a pivotal role in how I interface with reality and how a possibility transforms into reality. So co-regulation is an essential part of this. But part of this is also landing with our quote unquote spirit. Well, we are spirits made flesh. We are spirits made manifest. And that spiritual power, whether we call it qigong or qi or energy or any of the other terms that are put out there, is a significant part of the equation. When we're utilizing magic, we are operating through the principles of the unseen, of the mystery. But really, it's not unseen. It's not even much of a mystery. I'm sorry, I'm going to burst your bubble here, folks, because I know a lot of people love the mysteries and the esoteric. I see so many people here on Substack who write in flowery terms about the mystery. Look, at the end of the day, it's really about connecting with everything around you and being able to interact with it, and not from a place of willpower, you know? Let's just throw the Crowleyan notion of magic aside, please. No, it's really from a place of recognizing the collaborative nature of reality. So we're collaborating with reality, collaborating and connecting with each other, with the spirits, with the world around us. And all of these things sync up to creating new reality. But that's where integration comes in. We want that reality, right? We want that result. Let it fully land. Take your time with it. You don't need to move on to the next magical working. You don't need to read the next book on magic. Here's another surprise for all of you. I don't read that many books on magic anymore. I haven't been. I still read it. I still read one or two books. You know, like I still have one or two that I'm working on at a given time. But most of the books I read now aren't about magic. They're about a lot of other very interesting topics. And a huge part of that is because myopically focusing on one subject actually separates you from the world around you, separates you from your fellow humans, separates you from the life around you. We need less separation and more mutuality. And integration is part of mutuality. Integration is saying, I'm going to fully integrate this experience and I'm going to observe and allow it to transform my life. And I'm going to be curious about it. I'm going to let it in. I'm going to receive it. This is how we receive the bounty of the work that we've done. So, your lesson and your challenge is go out there, do a magical working, and then take a break. 30 days. Try it. You can continue doing your daily meditations, your daily magical work, with the understanding that if you're doing your daily magical work, you're not doing it to get a result, you're doing it as a way to just connect with what you're already working with. I mean, that's what I do each day. It's connecting with the spirits. It's connecting with the powers that be. It's not trying to get something out of them. It's just connecting with them, collaborating, communing. But if you're doing results-based magic, do it working, and then wait 30 days and observe what changes in your life. And that might seem like an eternity, and yet, honestly, I think it'll be one of the most powerful experiences that you have. All right, thank you so much for watching, those of you who joined me live. We've got a lot more fun coming up this month in the Magical Experiments Substack, and I can't wait to share it with all of you and also bring Sheena in on a lot of it. She's away on a trip right now, but we have so much to share with you. Have a wonderful rest of your day and integrate.